Hello everybody, how is it going? My name is Lucas and welcome to another episode of Amps of the XFX3, and boy do we have a treat today. We are checking out the Mesa Dual Recto solo head, and guys, this is the first time you've been here, or if you've been here before, make sure you guys subscribe because I do gear reviews, I do XFX tutorials like this, and I do gear giveaways, and I don't want you to miss any of that cool stuff, so make sure you are subscribed. So without further ado, let's jump right in and check out the Mesa Dual Recto solo head. I am going to give you a little bit of backstory on the Dual Recto. I did do a video on the history of the Mesa Dual Recto. If you want to check that out, I'll put it at the end and I'll stick it up top if you want to check it out. I'm going to keep this brief because there's so much history behind this. So the reason I call it a solo head is because that's what its original name was. This amp was aimed at 80s metal heads and like hair metal, but by the time it came out in 1992, the original 2-channel, 80s hair metal was basically dead, and grunge and new metal was on the way, and grunge and new metal absolutely embraced this amp because like some of the big acts like Limp Bizkit and Korn, throw Seven Dust in there, they absolutely used the Recto and it absolutely exploded, and it's still mega popular even today. But there's so many different revisions of it. I believe that left the factory you can get a C, D, E, F, and G of the original 2-channel ones, and the C's sound vastly different from the G's. And yes, this is 100% true what I'm about to say, and if it makes some people mad or if it sours them, it doesn't matter because it's absolutely true. The preamp in the Dual Recto is a direct rip from the Soldano SLO 100. It's been confirmed by Mike. You can look at the schematics and compare them both. There are some changes to the Dual Recto preamp, but it is absolute rip of the Soldano. And the power section in the Recto isn't as good as it is in the Soldano. So that's where you kind of get the sound differences from and a little bit of tweaks. So there's so many different Rectos in the Recto line. So I'm going to keep this very brief. What we have in the actual XFX is we have an old 2-channel revision 2 amp. That is the ones that we have, and then we have the 3-channel ones which came out in 2000. I'm pretty sure we don't have any multi-watt 3-channel amps in here. Now you did have a single Recto, a dual Recto, and a triple Recto. A lot of people like the triple Recto because it gave you more headroom. And when I mean Recto, is based off of the rectifier tube and the actual amp itself. So if you have 3 Recto tubes, obviously you get more headroom. So that's why I'm calling this solo head, because that is the absolute name of it. The Dual Recto is just kind of the family name, and the solo head, it's kind of its actual first name. So it'd be solo head dual rectifier if you want to like quantify it like a first and last name, like a person. Sorry, I had X edit up there. This is from the XFX wiki. Look at all the notes from Cliff. There's so much stuff in here. I'm gonna try not to focus on it. Go in here and read it. Basically, what Cliff says in here is keep the master volume low on Rectos. I always do that. If you keep it around 2 to 3, it cleans things up and makes it nice. He modeled everything with the loop bypass, because if you have the loop engaged, it changes the actual tone. He says it right here that the Recto 1 models are based on our revision F. If you remember this correctly, those are the desirable ones. Is the F and the G ones are desirable. Recto 2 is on the later models, which is the models from 2000. And this is what we have. So right here, Recto 1 is the original 2-channel. You have orange, modern, vintage, and you have the red. And then for the 3 channels, which came out in 2000, that's Recto 2. You have all the different channels that come in there, and we're going to go over that. And we're also going to go over the thorden amps. Frederick from Meshuggah, he has some in here, and I'll talk about that a little later on. So let's dive into this. Sorry I'm talking so much. There's just kind of a lot of history and stuff behind it. Okay, so the first one we're going to be checking out is going to be Recto 1 Orange. This is a Rev G 2-channel right here. I'm using this cab for absolutely everything. It's GG's, a little oversized 412 with an SM57 on it with a UK V30 in it. Yes, I know they do have some good Recto cabs in here. The York Audio and the ML Sound Lab cabs in here are absolutely fantastic. I like this IR. I get along with it well. It's easy for me to dial in tones. That is why I am using it. It's V30s, and it's from England, and the Mesa V30s aren't equal to all V30s. The Mesa ones sound a little bit different, and they sound actually really good. So that's a lot of people love Mesa cabs for their V30s. I'm just using this other one, so please don't get mad and beat me at the stake. I'm using 808 OD for it. You pretty much have to have a drive for a Recto. You're insane if you use a Recto with that one. I'm gonna turn it on and off as we go through here. This is the EQ. I'm gonna try and remember to pop through for all the different. You know what? Let me do it right now. I'm gonna show you all the EQ because I'm gonna forget as we're going through. As you can see, I have a lot of mid scooped out because Mesa has so many mids in pretty much every amp they make. There you go. That's all the EQs from everything. Just kind of wanted to show you that because I'm gonna forget. And on the red modes and in the modern modes, you don't have any negative feedback. See, the negative feedback is like basically non-existent. So if you screw with the negative feedback on here, you can kind of get some very interesting sounds in here. I typically don't mess with it and I just dial everything in from authentic. And as you can see, you don't have any depth knob on here, but as Cliff says in these notes, it wouldn't do anything because of the no negative feedback, and the presence is actually integrated into the actual EQ block. So if the presence actually affects the actual EQs right here. So okay, I am so sorry. I've been talking for probably 10 freaking minutes. Yes, exactly. So let me play for you, and this is going to be 2-channel Orange Modern. As you can see, I have bass at 0, and there's still loads of bass coming through there. Dual rectos are very fizzy. They are very, very bassy, as you can see there. Oh, what was I looking for? I was looking for this, yes. 412 recto large is going to be the speaker impedance right here. And I typically don't mess with this. You can come in here and speaker drive is something in compression. I usually mess with that, but I don't touch any of this. I just try and dial it in like, you know, like it's a very real recto right in front of me. The 2-channel orange actually sounds really good. I typically don't use the orange modes. I typically use the red mode. So this is going to be orange normal, and I'll do it with and without the drive. As you can hear with the drive, it kind of cuts the bass out of it. The orange channel doesn't have as much bass. It cuts the bass out and gives you a little bit more sizzle and a little bit more juice on the high ends. The orange normal mode, this like reminds me of like, you know, laid back Deftones or like some Loathe type stuff. Kind of like headbangy, it reminds me of relaxing stuff. But that's kind of how the normal mode is. It's just kind of like really laid back, and it's nice. The orange mode definitely has its uses. You can also do some cool pop punk stuff with this. Let me attempt to do this. The orange has been used in pop punk and like kind of like lighter crunchy stuff forever. It's very, very good for that. Moving right along, we're still in the 2-channel. We are on Recto 1 Red, one of my favorite amps in the entire Axe-Fx. Let's check it out. I love Recto Red. one so much. Let me see. Okay, this is without a drive. The drive absolutely tames it. Not so much for, like more sizzle and more drive. Sorry, I hate it when I'm hunching like that. Let me stand up straight. The drive tames it. I like it. I like it a lot with the drive. It sounds really good. Let me push the drive up and show you how sizzly it gets. So you can kind of drive a decent balance in between fizzy and distortion. If you kind of put the drive right around 5, really, again, it's really good depending on your environment. Recto 1 Red is so awesome. I mean, this has been used in, like, Unearth, Kill Switch, so many metalcore albums, like, of all time. This it's absolutely classic. Dream Theater's As I Am album, one of my all-time favorites. That was with a Road King. So there's so many different renditions. There's a Tremolo Verb, there's a Road King, there's a Road King 2. I'm pretty sure there's a Road King 2. Like I said, there's so many different variations of the Dual Recto solo head. It got spun off so many times. There's so many different things. But I love Recto 1 Red so much. It's very classic. So now we're moving on to the 3-channel amps. The one, like I said, the ones that came out in 2000. This is Orange Modern. Same IR. I'll do it with and without the drive. Sorry if I forgot to say this earlier on. I'm using my Black Cat headless multi-scale, and I'm using Tosin Fishman pickups in it, and everything today is going to be off the bridge. I need to show you some more positions, but I've just been chilling on the bridge. The Orange Modern mode it's so versatile because, as you heard, you can get kind of, some more attacky stuff, but when you slap on the drive, it's like instant metalcore mode. You can definitely go to that instant metalcore mode with the Orange Modern. Okay, now there's 3 channels, by the way. I'm gonna drop down, and we're gonna go here. We're changing sides. Now this is Recto 2 Orange Vintage, so this is the more laid back one. So as you see, vintage laid back, like I said before, very kind of like headbangy. Very chill type stuff going on there with Orange Vintage. Now we're gonna go to Red Modern. See, they're stacked weird in here because it's like Orange Modern, Orange Vintage, and you go Modern, and you got Vintage again. Let's check out Recto 2 Red Modern. Okay, while we're here, is this, yes, Recto Red 1, yes, and yes, so I'm going to bounce between 3 and 6 and show you the difference. So as you can hear, there are differences between them. They revisioned the crap out of the solo head, and it changes so much. I moved the presence there just to kind of show you what it sounded like. So there's so many different changes in between it. And you pretty much just pick the one you want and you like. It gives you the best flavor. Now we're going to be checking out Red Vintage Wine. Sorry I'm chugging so much. I just love chugging on this sample. Red Vintage is interesting. I think I'd rather Orange Vintage than Red Vintage, personally. And that is it. That is it for the 2-channel and 3-channel rectos. We have reached the end, but we have some bonus amps. Because these are actually rectos, and no one actually thinks that they're rectos. Let's go to Lucas Black Mesa, and we have the thorden, I'm pronounce that correctly, amps. So we have modern and we have vintage. So the story with this is, back in the day, I believe it was on the Ultra, the rectos were modeled. I'm pretty sure it was the 2-channel ones, right? So they were modeled, but they weren't 100% accurate, and then Fracto and Cliff came out with the G3 modeling tech, which was in the AXFX 2, but Frederick wanted them back because he liked them a lot. He just liked the way they sound, so they got put back in as a thorden, modern and vintage. So these are the dual rectos before they were remodeled, and this is what these models are. This is the output EQ. I kind of went crazy with the EQ. Cab. We have same cab going on there. Drive. It's a little bit different drive. I had a little bit fed boost. This is from a video I did way back in the day. It sounds so good, I just decided to keep it. So this is what this one sounds like. As you can tell, the high end is very, very different. It's a very, very, very different amp. It's still a Recto. It's just modeled in its own unique way, and this is going to be the vintage. Sorry if my tone sounds like ass on the vintage. I just dialed that in before I started this video. I did it really quick because I kind of wanted to show you to the guys, because these are Rectos and I wanted to show them to you so that we have so much different choice here in the Axe effects. And guys, the Mesa patch that we're working through, let me find it again. Where are we? Here we go. Right here. I'm going to upload this to Axe Change if you want to check it out. That way you can have pretty much every Mesa in one patch, and you don't have to sit around and go through it and build it. Just make sure you put the IR that you want, tweak it to your settings, and go to town. Guys, thank you so much for coming on this long journey with me for the Dual Recto solo head. You liked this video, thought it was cool, leave me a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around. I need to make the patch. I haven't made it yet, but coming up next on Amps of the XFX3, we're checking out the Ruby amps. We're going to be going into the Bogner Shiva, and then we get to the Soldano SLO, baby. We have the 88, the SLO. I think I'm gonna do them all at once. I'm just gonna do all the Soldanos in one lick. That's probably gonna be a long video, or I may just do the 88s and 99s and just give the 100 its own video because it's so awesome. But guys, thank you so much for staying here with me. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Lots of cool crap going on, guys. Thank you so much. I love all of you. Thank you for being here with me. I appreciate it. Check you in the next one. Peace.